This is a recap on Iron Man 3. In a flashback to New Year's Eve 1999, Tony meets Maya Hansen, a biology researcher, in Bern, Switzerland, and arrogantly avoids disabled geeky researcher Aldrich Killian on Tony's plans in a higher view, the drive must be mechanical. Maya has experimental plants. Maya is dealing with the experimental biotechnology of plants that undoubtedly alters their DNA and has the potential to prevent deadly and extinct diseases. Role. In December 2012, it has been after the occasions of New York City and the Justice Fighters drive when Iron Man Tony Obvious saved New York. A spooky Tony Obvious has fanatically fabricated a few Iron Man suits in his chateau. Tony deals with another model, the Imprint 42, which is measured, all the suit pieces fly to him and recombine. The principal endeavor at making the 42 Malawian Quatches work is met with a funk variant of signal ringers with Tony moving while the pieces are coming at him. According to the course, Tony obviously totally overlooks any security means that Jarvis takes. Tony then proceeds with his tale about making evil spirits. The Mandarin captures American wireless transmissions and makes his American presentation by assuming praise for the besieging of a U.S. military station in Kuwait that killed the spouses and offspring. President Ellis' underlying reaction to the Mandarin anyway makes him the aim of the jokes of late-night anchor people. The suit worn by Colonel James Rhodes and previously known as War Machine and have it repainted. Tony later asks Rhodes in a cafe what's actually the deal with the Mandarin. Rhodes lets Tony know that while the media and the press just know about 3 bombings ascribed to the Mandarin, there have been somewhere around 6 more that have occurred under the Tony is defied by a gathering of children who need his signature. Tony jokes that the kid seems to be Ralphie from A Christmas Story. Jarvis makes sense of that. Tony is experiencing a monstrous mental episode. Distinct Enterprises, Pepper Potts goes to meet her 4 o'clock arrangement. The arrangement is with Aldrich Killian, who has worked on his condition. He's in much better actual shape and his handicap is by all accounts totally gone. Aldrich needs Distinct Enterprises moving in his research organization called High Level Thought Mechanics. He then shows Pepper an enormous holographic recreation of his mind and how extremists can use portions of the cerebrum that would somehow go unused. Pepper tells Aldrich that Obvious Businesses isn't keen on subsidizing Point on the grounds that the thoughts could be converted into human weapons. Cheerful Hogan has tracked down another vocation as the head of safety at Obvious Businesses in spite of the fact that he's irritating almost the vast majority of the organizations. Pepper drives home and Tony has a colossal stuffed rabbit for her as her Christmas present. In any case, he is in the middle of working and Pepper isn't welcomed by Tony, yet by another remote-controlled model of the Iron Man suit, leaving Pepper upset. Tony has fostered an upfront console and is involving it as a controller. That evening while sleeping, Tony encounters PTSD-prompted injury about what occurred in New York. They're then, at that point, surprised when one of the new model Iron Man suits is stirred and has advanced into the room. Tony then, at that point, promptly destroys it. A baffled Pepper lets Tony know that she will rest ground floor and has him tinker with that. Tony is presently incensed over Blissful, who has been left incapacitated by the besieging. One of them outrightly inquires as to whether Tony will kill this person. A baffled Tony then, at that point, inquires as to whether that is what they truly need, then, at that point, gives his alarming statement to the Mandarin saying that he just passed on and gives his personal residence on television. While at home, Tony has Jarvis raise a 3D image graph of the obliteration at Grauman's Chinese Theater. While Jarvis is dissecting the assault, Tony finds that Blissful is highlighting an inquisitive peculiarity of military canine labels with the name Jack Taggart scratched onto them. Since there was no dynamic military workforce at the impact, Tony ponders precisely exact thing the canine labels are doing there. Jarvis then, at that point, investigates the most recent Mandarin assault and contrasts it and past episodes. A jumpy Tony asks why he's getting guests since he let Jarvis know that the house is on finished and complete lockdown. The guest turns out not to be the Mandarin, but rather Dr. Maya Hansen, who accepts Tony is at serious risk. The house is gone after by 3 helicopter gunships camouflaged as news choppers. Tony orders the 42 Malawian Quatches suit to cover and safeguard Pepper. Tony gets the 42 Malawian Quatches back and figures out how to annihilate 2 of the helicopters, yet down on power, he can't fly. The house disintegrates into the ocean, taking Tony with it. The suit recovers some power and takes off, concealed. Tony drops. In a little while, Tony stirs in the suit when Jarvis sets off the low battery caution. At first, he believes he's in Northern California, yet Jarvis illuminates him that he's really 5 miles beyond Rose Slope, Tennessee. Tony is exasperated, yet Jarvis advises him that he requested a flight intend to be made. Without any power, Jarvis closes itself down. Tony then, at that point, hauls the 42 Malawian Quatches to an apparently vacant house close by. Inside, he quickly starts work on fixing the 42 Malawian Quatches, yet, the house isn't vacant.